Good morning and welcome once again to this broadcast of Reflections. Last week I was sharing with you a testimony of how God was faithful to me in a specific season of my life. That was when I was at Bible school going to, and then after Bible school, and how God just provided for me everything that I needed. And this is going over more than a 3-year period, probably close to 4-year period. And I want to encourage you. I just literally finished the last broadcast, and I felt to go on and share some other things with you that I believe will encourage you and support you during this time of this COVID-19 pandemic. And I believe that these things will be a blessing to you. I won't only talk of myself, but I will speak of others today. And I trust that these testimonies, again, of God's provision in this case, which could easily be fit into God's faithfulness, but of God's provision, I want to show you how God will provide for his people if we walk faithfully, if we walk in obedience, if we walk in love for him. God will do for us something absolutely amazing. Before I go any further, let me encourage you to check my YouTube channel, Pastor D. You can type in Philip Drayton or Reverend Philip Drayton and then look for Pastor D, and you'll see all of these messages here, as well as the Sunday morning live Facebook broadcast that is usually 50 minutes long or so. It's a full message. If you have the time to listen to all of that, or you're looking for some kind of teaching from the Word, there's a lot of choices out there, a lot of options out there. I'm just saying this option is there for you if you're interested. But also you can look for Gospel Circle, and you will find all of my reflections videos there. My brother who edits these videos, I've asked him to put them on his channel. And then you can also get in touch with me if you so desire. Several have done so already through phildbage, B-A-J-E, at gmail.com, phildbage@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp me again at 1246-255-7953 right here in Barbados. So Sunday morning 8 o'clock I will be on. I want to share a message with you on Sunday. I'm not quite sure what I'll share yet, but I want to bring something that will challenge you, that will be a blessing to you and inspiration to you as we seek to serve the Lord. Now let me go back to Zion Bible Institute, a school that was started by Sister Christine Gibson from the country of Guyana, responding to the Lord to go there and go to the U.S. and start a school for young people who could not afford to go to a regular Bible school. I'm a recipient of that training, as well as several of my colleagues in Barbados, and one of my best friends who's gone on to his reward, Reverend Ricardo Burkett. It's a great school. Anyone is interested in getting a good Bible school education, it's now called North Point Bible College. I want to recommend it highly to you. It's a great place to go and study. All right, so Zion, this school, faith school, was started. Faith meaning that for its maintenance, for its livelihood, we had to depend, and the school had to depend on God and God's faithfulness and God's blessing for the school to operate, for its existence. That's the word I was looking for. As I said, this is extemporaneous. I have not really prepared specific things to say, but I'm just sharing with you as the Lord leads this morning. One of the things I just want to bring to your attention regarding Zion is that while I was a student there, we occupied an approximate 9 acres of space. There were different buildings at different parts that God gave to Sister Gibson for the school. And as time went by, we bought additional buildings and so on. But while I was there, Zion, this is the truth. You can check it. It's historically accurate. Zion moved from a 9-acre campus to 108 acres. 9 acres to 108 acres without money. Without money. It was a faith school. At that time we were paying, I believe it was $600 US a year, for 2 semesters. Not 600 per semester, 600 per year, 300 US per semester. And we bought a campus of 108 acres from a 9-acre campus, and we had no money. Talk about the miracle power of God's provision and God's faithfulness to the vision that He gave to Christine Gibson. It is absolutely amazing. That campus is now deserted. They have moved from the Barrington campus, and they have moved to Haverhill. I think I've got it right. Haverhill in Massachusetts, from Providence in Rhode Island, Barrington in Rhode Island. They've moved to this new campus, and the campus was literally bought and given to the school free of cost. That's the information that I have received. It was a free gift to the Bible school, a brand new campus. I'm not sure how big it is, but I know it is beautiful. I've not been there as yet. I've just seen pictures. Just an amazing, amazing provision of God and faithfulness of God to His work. But I want to tell you this. I was speaking with a sister a couple of days ago. Actually, she sent me a message, and she said, Phil, I was looking for money to buy my supplements and vitamins and that kind of stuff. They would cost somewhere around $225 US, 450 Barbados dollars, and she only had $50, so she needed another 400. And she never said anything to anyone regarding her need. And she said one day another sister sent her $200. And then a relative sent $100. And then someone else sent $100. So she ended up with $450 and was able to go then to the pharmacy and buy all the stuff that she needed. In this COVID-19 situation, we have to keep our immune system at peak. We cannot afford to get run down because we'll become very, very susceptible to this virus. I don't want to see that happen. And I rejoice with my sister in how God provided for her without saying anything to anyone, and how God blessed her to be able to buy these supplements and vitamins and stuff that she needed to keep her body in the place it ought to be. But then just yesterday, I was in a conversation now with a businessman, another brother. And no, this will tickle you. I was talking to this businessman. I had sent him a WhatsApp message the week before. All right, the timeline on this will be a little different because while I'm recording today, it won't be released this week. This will probably actually come out next week. But while I was sending this WhatsApp, I felt to send him a WhatsApp, very, very short message to let him know I was praying for him, because he had said to me on a previous occasion that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, his business was literally shut down. He could not do any work. So my prayer for him, which is what I put in the little WhatsApp, was that God would open doors and that God would give him new ideas for business that would be lucrative, that would actually give him a lot of money, so then he would be able to bless the kingdom of God, because he's a man that I have great respect for, because he goes around to churches and he blesses them. Projects that people are doing, pastors are doing, and they may be struggling, he will take money and he will go and give them to bless them with the project. So, I just said, I'm going to stand behind you, I'm going to pray for you, and so on. So I sent him this message. He called me yesterday. It won't be yesterday when you see this, but yesterday on today's time. And he said to me, it was interesting when I saw your WhatsApp message, because for the whole week I've been in meetings with different business persons. And he said that so many doors have opened for me. He said, and this is the truth, he said, I'm actually a little overwhelmed because so many opportunities have now presented themselves for me to earn money. And not just a few dollars, but big money. That's what we were saying in Barbados, big money. And I was just overwhelmed myself, but with joy, because I just saw how God was working, how God was moving in a time when people are finding it hard to make ends meet. And here is now God bringing new business, new opportunities to this businessman. And that's what I see as the faithfulness of God, but certainly it is God's provision, and it is excellent, it is wonderful. So we talked and we talked and we talked, and we were just sharing about what God was doing. He was telling me about the business opportunities that had come literally fall in his lap, if I may put it that way. And then while we were talking, my son stuck his head through the door and he said to me, "Dad, somebody is at the gate." I said, "Well, I can't come now because I'm on a call." This is the truth. So I finished the call, speaking to my brother, and I came downstairs. And when I went into the kitchen, there were 2 bags of groceries and a box with a frozen chicken, another piece of meat that I don't want to say it was pork, because I know some people tell me that I'm too obsessed with pork. I'm always talking about pork, but it was a nice frozen piece of meat. Okay, there was a chicken, there was another piece of meat, and then there was another little container. I'm going to tell you about that in just a minute. That was a frozen container. But then I looked and I put everything on the counter, and there was some of everything there, from pasta, macaroni. There was tuna. There were vegetables. I mean, some of everything you could think of. There was oats. I have oats for breakfast every morning with fruit, a very healthy breakfast, and almond milk 5-6 days a week. This is my breakfast: oats with fruit and almond milk, and oats were there, and there's so many things, and I was like, God, this is. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't take much for this to happen, but when I saw the things spread out there, a little water came from my eye. I thought it was the Sahara dust, but it wasn't. I was just so overwhelmed at the goodness of God. And again, I didn't say anything. But here's what I want. Here's what I want to tease you with. All of those things are necessary things. They're things that I need to survive, to live, to take care of my family. But there was one bag that it was a blue clear bag. You could see through it, but it was blue. And when I opened the bag, there was homemade bread, a loaf. Then there was coconut bread, and I like anything with coconut. I love coconut. And then there was another container. When I took the lid off, there were 4 turnovers. Now, if you don't live in Barbados or the Caribbean, you may not know what a turnover is. But it's a bread pastry, and it has flavored coconut, sweetened coconut on the inside, and then it's baked. And I tell you, I love turnovers. Why? Because it's coconut. I just love coconut. And I was just over the moon. I thought, boy, this is, God thinks of little things. I didn't need turnovers, but I got turnovers. I needed the other stuff, but I got the extra turnovers. And then I went to the little container. It was actually a Velvo Crisp container. And Velvo Crisp is something you use in baking and stuff like that. And I said, no, why would they bring Velvo Crisp for me? But I opened the container to confirm what it was, and I saw this solid thing inside, and I had to smell it to see what it was. Again, if you don't live in Barbados, this will mean nothing to you. But it was fish cake batter. Fish cake batter. Why, in the midst of a coronavirus COVID-19 lockdown, why would God think to send to me turnovers and fish cake batter? You want to hear something else that's really funny? I was speaking with another brother after I received these things, and I was telling him, sharing the testimony that I'm sharing with you. I said, would you believe that God sent fish cake batter for me? He says, but God sent some for me last week. And I was like, God, this is amazing. Fish cake batter is not an essential. It is something that we Barbadians love, that we Bajans love, like putting in sauce. And it was just so overwhelming for me. And it brought me right back to God is faithful. God is faithful to his people, faithful to his children. And if he can provide for me, as he did so many years ago when I was a student at Bible school, and he's doing now in the midst of this coronavirus. Another lady that I sent this testimony to said to me, I can also share of God's miraculous provision during this time of COVID-19. I just want to encourage you, beloved. Don't fret. Don't worry. Don't be afraid. We have people all around us that are receiving blessings from God without asking, without saying anything. God knows what you need. God sees your condition. God sees your situation. And He has already provided for you. There's already people out there who have all that you need. And I believe that those people are going to open up. And there'll be a blessing to you out of obedience to the Lord. I'm not saying don't pray and ask God to provide. I'm not saying that. I am saying that God will provide one way or the other. Either give you a job, give you money, send somebody to your gate with a package. It does not matter how, but He will provide. So just hold on to Him, trust Him, and you will see the power of God come through for you in ways that you never imagined. Thank you for being a part of this Reflections testimony service, if I can call it that. Sharing with you just the goodness of God and the faithfulness of God. I pray that it will be a very special blessing to each and every one of you.